Penguin Random House Audio presents The 10 Commandments, My Search for God in Hollywood. This is the author, Ken Baker. The universe is not outside of you. Look inside yourself. Everything that you want, you already are. Rumi, Sufi poet, 1207 to 1273. Religion is like clothing. People want comfort. Kanye West, American hip-hop artist, born 1977. Genesis. In the beginning, God created me. I went on to live a life of achievements and struggles, joys and pains, successes and failures, both personal and professional. My journey led me to Hollywood, where I took up a journalism career at first in magazines and then television and online, writing and talking about pagan gods and idols known as celebrities. I would sometimes pray, sometimes attend church, baptized my first child in a Catholic church in Malibu, and considered myself a believer in God. Over my time in Hollywood, however, I grew distant from my Creator and from my spiritual self. It seemed I had it all. A house near the beach, 2 SUVs, 2 amazing kids, a marriage filled with a lifetime of amazing memories, a Daytime Emmy Award, book writing awards, a celebrity journalism career that had sent me around the world, covering the richest, most beautiful, talented, and famous humans on the planet. But these were temporary, material, and external rewards, not eternal, spiritual ones. I felt empty. So, after 20 years spent chasing celebrities, writing books, raising kids, and making countless hours of television, I grew plagued with spiritual self-doubt, existential angst, anxiety, and even depression. Indeed, what began as my Hollywood heaven had become my hell. But, like Dante wrote in his Divine Comedy, I would have to go through hell to get back to heaven. I decided to use my journalism skills to seek answers to my deepest spiritual questions, including whether God exists and, if so, how I might connect with God before my physical time on earth ends. My midlife search for meaning and for God took place entirely in Hollywood, the very cradle of celebrity civilization where I had grown so lost. As a seeker, I chased my spiritual truth just as I had always chased stories as a journalist. Tired of being broken, I was determined to break the biggest news of my life before I lost my mind. And I soon learned that losing my mind was the very thing I needed to do before I could find myself. And what I learned, the insights I made, and the profound transformation that took place in my life after dedicating myself to assembling the puzzle that was my jumbled soul is herein contained in what shall be known forthwith as the 10 Commandments. The first commandment: Thou shalt have no false idols before the Kardashians. Some might begin their spiritual journey in a church, sanctuary, temple, or some other traditional house of worship. Others might kickstart their spiritual quest by reading books, going on a retreat with a guru, starting a meditation or yoga practice, or perhaps participating in a Bible study with a rabbi or pastor. Not me. My search for God begins in Las Vegas while I am keeping up with the Kardashians. This is not a joke. This really is my life. So, how did I get to the point where I am on my knees crying in a hotel room near the Vegas Strip, praying to God for the first time in seemingly forever in an effort to bring a troubled reality star out of a coma? I'll start my explanation for my peculiar spiritual behavior with a description of what I do for a living. I am the senior correspondent for E! News and E! Online. While my former professors at Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism might throw up a little in their mouths knowing that I'm using my degree to report on the frivolity of Hollywood entertainment and celebrity, the truth is that the Kardashian clan is the most important beat I cover. My journalistic identity has become so intertwined with Kris, Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, Kendall, Kylie, Rob, Caitlyn, and the cast of Satellite Family characters that my E! News co-host Jason Kennedy has razzed me on the air by calling me Ken Kardashian. I've been an entertainment journalist for 20 years. It's been a mostly amazing, sometimes maddening, more on that later, career that has taken me from my mid-1990s debut as a wet behind-the-ears correspondent for People magazine to an Us Weekly writer and editor to a correspondent at E! News, the ultimate celebrity-obsessed news organization. Along the way, I've managed to get married, have a son and daughter, and coach both their hockey teams, and succeed, thanks to that anti-tumor medication, in keeping a skull-based pituitary gland tumor I had removed in 1998 from growing back. I also have written many books, one of which was a memoir that was made into the movie The Late Bloomer. One of my younger E! coworkers recently observed, "Ken, on paper, you have it all." But paper is easy to shred, burn, or crumple. Only in Hollywood does paper make a soul. While it may be true that my personal and professional resume isn't filled with the stuff of crisis, my spiritual resume tells a much darker story. That document, if I had ever actually spent the time to reflect on the subject long enough to write it, would look more like a maze of meandering lines, dead ends, and blank spaces marking the years that I stopped even pondering my spiritual self, let alone seeking deeper meaning. A job hazard of doing what I do, really of just leading a busy modern life like so many other people do, even in places far from the Hollywood sign, has been focusing on others rather than on myself. Despite all my professional accomplishments and personal adventures, all the incredible life experiences I've racked up, all the people I've met who have influenced my life, highest among them 2 exceptional children, Jackson and Chloe, and the greatest mom for them and my wife of 16 years, Brooke, for far too many years, my spiritual cup has been evaporating. My current state is no one's fault but my own. I've chosen to dedicate myself to a strange TV career in which I get paid to gossip about celebrities, live in a hyperactively car-clogged city, and pile on book writing projects that make me money and give me creative satisfaction, but that probably also make my hair fall out. My life has turned far too frenetic and stressful for me to fully enjoy the beauty and love all around me. In my increasingly scarce free time, I have tucked myself away and written book after book, 8 in the last 16 years, in which I tell stories about others rather than living my own. I need inner rewards, not more book awards. Like many parents I know, I have chosen to consign my most fundamental health needs and desires to dormancy while I help guide my kids, nurture their budding talents, and create an environment to make their dreams a reality. Empty cup, hollow vessel, whatever the metaphor, I am it. My job at E! News, is to report on the gamut of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?